MFK. It's Wednesday. It's the midweek Macca break. It is I, Thomas Hunyadi, joined by my friend Aaron Badgley, who you know from this little book right here, right? Dark Horse Records, the story of George Harrison post-Beatles record label. Good book.
Hopefully soon you'll have two more to hold up. So
yes, yeah, well, yeah, it'll. I'm gonna need three hands then, you know.
3 legs.
Anyways, Aaron, my friend, you have been busy. You've been traveling the world. It's good to have you back. It's been a couple weeks. It's good to have you back.
Good to be back. Thank you for having me. It's always great.
Yeah,
always great.
So we've got Andy, my wonderful co-host and friends, Beadley Tone and Kyle Hand, they did a 6-hour and 20-minute live stream the other day.
I heard.
And now Ollie wants us to go for 7 hours. But listen, Ollie, I'm seeing Bob Dylan tonight. So I'm very excited. And that's not going to happen because I got to drive 2 hours to go see Dylan. So we're probably only going to do about 1 hour and 20 today. But go ahead. You got something to say, Aaron?
I'm seeing Dylan on June 21st in your neck of the is it Pine
Yes.
Knob?
Pine Knob, and maybe I'll get tickets for that too, and we can make a day of it or something.
That'd be great. I'd love that.
Yes, MFK. Yes, music fan. Okay, so I want to give a big shout out to our friend. Why can't I grab the other one? Here we go. I want to give a shout out to our friend Mike Nair. Now Mike got to work. He was a cameraman, and he worked the SNL 50 event.
Nice.
That obviously Paul McCartney was at, and he sent Andy and I a hoodie and a shirt that I have behind me. So Mike, thank you very much. I've really been overwhelmed recently with all the love that we've gotten from so many of you out there. So thank you to everybody out there. We got Ollie saying hi. We got Beetle Eddie saying hi.
Hello.
And we got Henry saying hello. Henry, I saw a movie called Warfare earlier this week. Fantastic film. Might be the best film so far released this year.
Wow. Definitely
recommend that. Ollie says, let us know if you recognize any of the songs. Okay. Yes. I've heard that he does change the arrangements, and plus, you know, he's hard to understand these days. But you know what? I don't care. I mean, I'm finally going to get to check off Dylan on the concert bucket list. So, and we've got Lynn. Hello, Lynn. Just to see what you think of the Dylan concert. I've seen him in 20 years ago. Yes, I'll definitely talk about it. I'm not on this episode coming up on 2 legs, but probably the next one or the next live show that I do here. I saw the brothers last night. They were great. Okay.
Nice.
Glad you enjoyed that. Thanks for this sweatshirt, Tom. Enjoyed the merch. This is my YouTube handle. Okay. You're welcome.
Hi, Doc.
Doc says hi too.
Hi, Doc.
And we got Penny Lane. Tom enjoying seeing Dylan. Haven't seen him in years. Yeah, I can't wait.
I've seen him on the last tour. I saw him on this tour, 2020, wasn't that 21, 2022? I don't know, but I've seen him about 5 times, so I'm excited to see him again.
Yeah, and then what do you? I mean, his voice over the last how many times have you seen him? 20 times, you said.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, how's the voice been? I mean, the past few times that you've seen him.
The last time I saw him, actually, his voice seemed to be stronger than ever. It was great, and he did watching the river flow, and you know what? I recognized it easily. I'm excited for you to see him tonight. I'm excited to see him again. So yeah, big fan.
Yeah. Okay. There's my partner right there. Hello, Andy.
Andy should be on, not me. So
yeah, whatever.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Tony says hello. Okay, so this is Mike. Then, yeah, you got it, buddy. No problem. No, thank you. This is fantastic. This is so comfortable. I love it. Love it. Thank you, Tony. Good to see you. And our friend Beatly Tone.
Hey, yes. Beatly Tone.
And Ali says, have both of you seen With Nell and I? Yes, I have seen With Nell and I used to own the DVD that was on Criterion Collection, and Criterion Collection just announced the Blu-ray edition of that. So, and How to Get Ahead in Advertising, right? I think that's the name of the film.
Yep.
Both of those just came out. I mean, have been announced. I think next month or in June. I can't remember what months. So
I think June.
Yeah. They just announced the July slate, which I was very excited about because they announced one of my favorite movies, Carnal Knowledge, with Jack Nicholson and Anne Margaret, and obviously Art Garfunkel, in that as well. And the other female I'm forgetting at the moment, who was on SNL a bunch of times. And I hate when I forget names.
Is Criterion going to do One Trick Pony soon, or?
I don't know. That'd be great if they do. But do you like that? I mean, it's one of the poor films out there with a musician in it.
It's not great, but it's great in that it's one of the few times you get Paul Simon acting, right? Like it's
yeah. It's well, unless you count all the times on SNL.
Oh yeah, with the turkey outfit.
Yeah. Yes. The turkey outfit. But yes, I have, and then another set that I was really looking forward to. I'm a huge Francois Truffaut fan, so the Antoine Dunel box set with the 4 movies, including 400 Blows. Which, if you've never seen the 400 Blows, it'll blow you away. It's fantastic film.
Classic.
It's French, so you will have to read some subtitles.
Unless you know French. But wait.
Unless you know French, yeah. But fantastic. One of the greatest films of all time, actually, 400 Blows. Let's see. Billy Tone says, I saw Dylan Blackbush in 78, my only time. Eric Clapton was the main support. Oh, wow.
I love Joan Armatrading. I got to tell you, I've always wanted to see her live. I've seen Graham Parker, I've seen Clapton, I've seen Dylan, but I've never seen Joan Armatrading. I would love to see her.
Yeah, cool. Let's see here. We've got Andy says, I'm good, still catching my breath. Okay. From that marathon. Yes. Thank you, Mike. Yes. Thank you again, Mike. Billy says, good luck with Dylan. Saw him last year in the Outlaw Tour. Yeah. He stays on the piano for the whole time. You can't understand a word he's singing. Well, we'll see.
He played Dublin a few months ago. My daughter saw him, and he actually played guitar. He
really?
The piano for the entire night, but in Dublin, he got up and played guitar, and he also did 2 Pogue songs, tribute to Shane MacGowan, which is very cool.
Oh, okay, very cool. Our buddy Mean Mr. Mayo says, "Hey guys, have either you seen the Dylan's Hearts of Fire?" Yes, you have.
Less said the better. Less said the better.
Less said the better.
You seen it, Tom? You seen it?
No, not yet. No.
It's Dylan's made a few movies. Masked. What was it called? Masked and Dangerous, I think it's called. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And of course,
Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid.
Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid.
Yep.
Hearts of Fire. I don't know. It's I mean, yeah, it's of its time.
Fantastic. I'll search it out.
Did you like it, Mean Mr. Mayo? I
want to
know what he thought.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. What did you think, Joe? I go back to Dylan's Rolling Stone review tour. Okay. 1 second.
Rolling Thunder review. I just bought it's a great box set of all the concerts from that.
Yes.
Awesome.
And the documentary is fantastic as well.
Yes.
Never seen it. Okay.
I wouldn't rush to see it.
But check it out.
If you got time, it's 90 minutes. You're never getting back. So
It's for diehard Dylan fans only, right?
So I got something in Ireland. You might be interested in, Mister.
Yes, I would love to see. Obviously, you went to Ireland to visit family. You saw our buddy Owen Ling while you were there.
I did. We had a coffee, and it was great to hang out. But I found a copy of Silly Love Songs pressed in Ireland on Apple.
Ooh, okay.
On Apple, and Silly Love Songs is on the B side, and on the A side is Cook of the House. And it's at the top of the label. It actually says "Wings at the Speed of Sound." It's the bizarrest pressing. So then I started going to some charity shops, and I found "Let 'Em In," same thing on Apple. I just thought it was interesting that these two singles were pressed in Ireland on Apple. So,
and they didn't get the email saying that don't use the Apple label or anything like that, right?
But we were joking about that. It was like, we were like, sure, should we use the Apple label? No, I think it's the Parlophone.
And the thing is by that time, there were apples on being seen, but they were on the picture sleeve, not on the labels. Right. There's an Italian Silly Love Songs that has the apple on the picture sleeve, but not on the nowhere to be seen on the label.
I have a Portuguese Letting Go on Apple.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have that with the picture sleeve.
Probably, yeah, probably.
But no, it was uncommon to see the Apple label at that time. And so then later on, I found a copy of Happy Christmas War is Over, and it's got the Parlophone label. Pressed in Ireland. So I'm kind of nice to find those things.
Right.
I looked for one for you, but I could only find one. Thomas.
Listen, that's fine. I understand. Finders keepers. Totally. I'm all good with that, my friend. All good with that. Mike says I've seen Dylan 7 times. Last time in 2023, loved it. He played Every Grain of the Sand that night, which I'd never seen him do. That's great. That's great. I'm gonna definitely listen to Rough and Rowdy Ways on the way there because he is playing about 8 or 9 tracks from that album.
Key West is the best. Key West is the best song on that album.
Yeah.
Vladimir Fraser. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I need to get more familiar with it. I think I'm gonna listen to the album twice. So I'll listen to it. It's a 2-hour drive on the way there, so I'll listen to it twice. So Joe says I like the song from it, The Usual.
Yeah, great song. Fantastic song. You're absolutely right, Joseph.
I love the Dylan song, the play in The Big Lebowski. Yeah.
Speaking of The Big Lebowski, has anyone heard Jeff Bridges' new album?
No, because he is a musician. Isn't that right?
This was recorded in 1977, and it came out on Record Store Day. You can stream it, but the vinyl came out on Record Store Day. Very unusual album. Not what I thought it would be, but it's good. It's an interesting listen. Speaking
of Record Store Day, you did partake this year, correct?
But punched my way through. It was crazy busy here. That was one of the biggest Record Store days of my recollection because they had, I didn't buy it, but Wicked sold out in seconds. People were so.
Oh, well, see, that's funny thing is because I went in line. I went to the record store and there was already 10 people. I went there about 10:30 at night. There was already 10 people in line, and I didn't realize that it was all women. So I should have just went, and because there's a good chance that they all wanted that Wicked, release. So I still probably could have got, the 3 things I wanted instead of just going home and getting sleep. But you know what? To be honest with you, these all-nighters that I've been doing the last couple months, for several reasons, have been just kicking my ass. And then plus, you throw in work as well, and it's just getting older. I don't know, but I'm not saying I'll never do it again because obviously I will. But I did get the Be Here Now. I found the Be Here Now, the 12-inch single, so that should be delivered hopefully by Monday. And then I've got somebody offered up the John Lennon EP. So that was very nice of that person. And so I've got my John Lennon EP. So now all I got to do is just find that All Things Must Pass, which will end up, being costing me a pretty penny, especially if you've seen what the people are charging for them on eBay. So.
Oh, really? I haven't looked.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy money?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy busy where I went here in Toronto, and I got there after the store opened, and it was still lined up around the corner, like huge.
Right.
And I got almost, because I bought those three things, and I also got, I'm a big Mark Knopfler fan, so I got that.
Mm.
And the weirdest record I own now, Nick Mason, 12-inch single for Echoes, but
Okay.
it's the inside out.
Oh.
So it turns the normal way, but you
Right.
put the needle at the end of the record, right by the label.
Right.
Goes right to the outside.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
I was also very much interested in that Elton John live LP as well. So I'll have to try to find that too.
The other one I'm looking for is Yes Live, because that flew off the shelf and it was just gone. But
right.
But I didn't see Elton either. But it was fun. I got the Springsteen and Killers. That was cool.
Okay. Mike says the Jeff Bridges album from album 70-78 is pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's odd at points. I mean, Burgess Meredith is on it. That's cool. But
and what is Bridges doing?
He does like dialogue from King Kong in one song, and
so he's kind of like a narrator then.
Yeah, I mean, Bridges is layering all sorts of sounds and sound effects and talking, and it's a very interesting album. It reminded me a bit of Arthur Russell and a bit of Captain Beefheart at times.
Okay.
But very melodic. Still very melodic.
Okay. All right. Brad says, hi, I'm at work. I'll watch tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brad. So, since Joe's here, I'll just show you at the fest. We on the collector's panel. Joe brought he brought this guy. Joe brought this. Okay. You familiar with this?
What?
So Joe brought it, and yeah. So before the fest, I had made him some offers on this, and so the day before the fest, I made him on my last offer. He accepted, so we ended up doing a little bit on the collector's panel, where he sold it to me on the collector's panel. So very, very happy to have this in my collection. So
I gotta go now. That's beautiful.
But this is it's fantastic. Obviously the picture of McCartney. I'm not trying to to rub it in or make you jealous or anything there, Aaron, but it's it is nice to have in the collection. I'm not gonna lie.
I guess if you go for that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm dying of envy right now, just so you all know. I'm just dying of envy.
So bummed I missed out on All Things Must Pass.
Why wasn't I offered this record? I'm just
well, because you had to go see your daughter, in Ireland, So I mean, hey, priorities, my friend.
Okay, I'll get over it.
Okay.
Can I get your address again?
Right. Yeah. I'm not gonna fall for that, buddy. Tom, you and Joe have the best life. Well, thank you, Beatletti. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot to me. As the song goes, that means a lot. There you go. Let's see here. I'm beginning to wonder if it was a mistake selling. Yeah, well.
If you got $15 for it, you did a big mistake. Yeah.
Tom's still recovering from the 6 hour. Yeah, Andy and I, we recorded our latest episode Monday evening. the day after the big marathon, and unfortunately I had to work, so I only got to pop in and out for like the first hour. So, but yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Andy, Kyle, and Beely Tone, just talked about the whole McCartney career, really, the 60 plus career. And what are you going to do for a 60 plus career? You go over 60, or you go over 6 hours, right? So
100%. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So looking forward to getting those records, some eventually and some soon.
Did you order the other Paul McCartney shirt from his site?
No, I just and you're obviously wearing the It's All Balls shirt. So I did get the other two. I got the two longer sleeve ones. Did you see those? The one with the pink, the one with the red, and then the one with the black. So I ended up getting both of those. But I just stuck with the It's All Balls t-shirts from the Venus and Mars. I mean, the blue one's still available.
Yeah.
And did you get the Half-Speed Master as well?
I did.
I did. Yeah, you did? Yeah.
I did. I quite liked it. Am I maybe not?
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, who are we talking to over here?
So the question is, they've released a new batch of the Japanese CDs.
Yes. SHMs. Yes.
Broad Street's missing, and so is Press to Play, and as is
Back to the Egg in London.
Yeah, 4 albums.
Yes. We talked about. We've been talking about that the last several weeks or 2 weeks or whatever since the third round has been announced, and some people, which I hope is true, are thinking that this is a sign that we're going to get a London Town and Back to the Egg archive set. I'm not one of those people that believe it. I want it to be true, but I'm trying to stay positive, but I'm not going to hold my breath. There's got to be a reason why these 4 albums, are not getting any love here in this recent round of SHM releases. I don't get it. Are they going to get released as archive? Is that the reason? Well, then let's go. I mean, it's been 5 years, right, since the last archive release. And
I'm surprised Broad Street never got the archive release treatment because it was a big album. I mean, if you want to just go by sales alone, I think it made number 1 in the UK.
It was number 1 in the UK. Yeah. Didn't do good here. But then, you know what? Pipes of Peace didn't do good here either.
No. Number 1 in England, though, didn't it?
I got to go back and look, but I know here the thing is here I know Broad Street and I know Flowers in the Dirt were number 1 in the UK.
Yes.
Okay, but not the biggest sellers here, despite everybody thinking it was like a return to form or the comeback or however you want to describe Flowers in the Dirt. It wasn't a big chart topper here. It sold well, but it wasn't a big chart topper. Or chart placer here, I should say. Joseph, go ahead.
Don't forget the charts were also a combination of sales and radio play, and it got 0 radio play. So
yeah, I didn't hear My Brave Face as much as I heard Say back in '83, and you're only talking 6 years.
I know. I don't.
Yeah. But what? I did hear No More Lonely Nights quite often on the radio. I do remember hearing that.
It made number 6 in America. It was a big hit. Right. I was working in radio when No More Lonely Nights came out, and I was working at a station that was kind of on the softer rock side. And the station manager said, you got to cut out the Gilmore solo. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll cut it out.
Really?
Yeah. So I never cut it out, but he thought I did.
I mean, that's just like,
Can you put that away, please? It's making me just so upset.
Yeah. No. Oh, this. Are you talking about this right here?
Yeah.
this. Now, there's other promotional stuff out there too that I've been hunting down, but I'm not going to say what they are here because I don't want other people looking for those things as well. So.
You know, I tell you what I got from MPL, which was interesting. As I was in my past life, I worked with children, and I got a box from MPL of samples of all their music for kids. But inside of that was 5 CDs of McCartney in a beautiful cloth bound, CD case, and it's got the best of McCartney, but interesting combinations of McCartney stuff. So that was one thing I got that I'm kind of proud of. But
right,
I'm just trying to keep my ego after I saw that.
Right. Hey, anytime you can get any kind of promotional stuff, no matter what it is cool. It's very cool. And then this other piece too. So
do I want to see this?
So this, I didn't know about this. So the one of the dealers at the fest, he presented this to me, and it's going to go good next to the Venus and Mars Frisbee and the Red Rose Speedway Frisbee. But so this is a radio station, Wink 104, and it's an off the ground promotional Frisbee. Nice. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So here you go.
I'm looking for the Attitudes Frisbee.
Okay.
That's my chore.
Well, good luck with that, my friend. And yes, okay, I'm putting it away. Tony says Arrow Through Me is one of the best vocal performances by Paul. Unfortunately underrated. Yeah, it was a single. It was a single as well. Top 40. And it sucked because those singles that came from that album unfortunately didn't do well as past. Well, second, third singles from Paul, especially London Town and Back to the Egg, didn't do well, unfortunately. I've had enough didn't do that great. London Town, the song didn't do that great as a single. But the thing is, they're all top 40. I mean, that's one thing McCartney can say is every single released in the 70s was a top 40. Hit.
I mean,
in the U.S., I should say, in the U.S.
In Canada, this was still a time when there was independent radio stations. So it was interesting, like in Toronto, Arrow Through Me was a big hit. Whereas my wife and group in Vancouver, they played the flip side, which was Old Siam Sir. So when we got together, we're talking, she goes, I love Old Siam Sir by McCartney. I'm like, how do you know that song? She goes, it was a big hit. So there you go. But well, here, Midnight Tonight wasn't a hit in Toronto, but Daytime Nighttime Suffering made number 4.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They flipped it over for some reason. So
they flipped it over. Very cool. Very cool. So did you see the 1-to-1 film that just came out last week?
Well, I did see it, but I saw it on my laptop because they didn't show it in and around where I live. But I interviewed one of the directors. I got to interview. I reviewed it for Spill magazine, and I got to interview one of the directors, which was a big thrill to speak to him. He was super, super, super nice, and great to have a chat with him, get some insight into what was chosen, all that kind of stuff, But did you see it?
I loved it. Yes, and I loved it. All the phone call, all the the recorded phone calls were fantastic. Loved all that stuff. Especially loved the, obviously, we got to get these flies as soon as possible, and then where are we going to get the flies, and how many can we get? And it was great.
The funny thing is,
go ahead.
The funny thing is that my daughter saw it last night in Dublin, and sold out. Theater was sold out, packed. 2 shows sold out.
Excellent. That's fantastic news. I love to hear that. The funniest bit, though, the bit that got the biggest laugh was when John's talking to Alan Klein on the phone, and it's going to be, Free the People tour, and they're going to bail, 500 people, the first 500 people out of jail, and, people who couldn't afford their bail. People were laughing their asses off for that.
I think, for my money, it's probably the best Lennon documentary yet.
That Daytime Revolution was fantastic as well.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Daytime Revolution was brilliant, but this one,
Yeah.
I like the whole way they did the narrative, the use of the phone calls, the use of television.
The use of television, because he wanted to present what they would have been watching during that time, and we know obviously they were so involved with the political side of it, so we knew there was going to be a bunch of politics. I just didn't, you just don't realize how much is going to be there. But I just loved it as a historical piece, seeing all the events that happened, around that time.
Well, I think it's good to take specific, like, I think this is teaching us all a lesson. Let's just take a specific time period and do a documentary as opposed to trying to tell the whole story in 2 hours, which you're never going to do. And I think that the way they broke this down, I mean, I love the concert footage they chose. I liked the sound, but it was just a really well put together. I mean, it was, as the guy said, the director said to me, he goes, we hope to put a story together that people were interested in. I was riveted. Like, I thought it was just brilliant. And I hope it comes out on Blu-ray soon. I'm praying.
I'm sure it'll come out on DVD, Blu-ray. But that documentary, because we also know that the concert's going to come out around John's birthday.
A 9 CD set, though, of the concert?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people are speculating that they're also going to add the Sometime in New York City album to that.
Okay. And maybe the other concert appearances he did, like maybe maybe Ann Arbor and
maybe.
Interesting.
We'll see.
Wait.
If they're gonna give us both, if they give us both concerts, the evening, the day, afternoon, and evening show, that would be great. But that was really the star of the film, right? There was the video and the audio, through that documentary. Fantastic.
Oh, I agree, but I just think that even Daytime Revolution, they focused on a specific time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we need to do now going forward with these Beatle documentaries, is kind of like, let's pick this, 18 months or 2 years. Makes for a lot of viewing, which is fine by me. I don't mind. But,
Our friend Lynn says, love Arrow Through Me and both London Town and Back to the Egg. Very good. Very good. Doc says Arrow Through Me topped at number 29 on Billboard. Yes. Very good. Not as. I mean, I think that song definitely deserved a better showing than 29. And James always got some good stuff to good comments. He says, if Wings had toured the U.S. in '80, I wonder if Back to the Egg sales would have been boosted. I feel if the album had come out later in the year, it may have fared better. Well, yeah, that's the thing. And here's the other thing too: if he doesn't get busted, and the tour of America does happen, which Lawrence Schubert said was planned. We don't. Do we get McCartney too? And is he touring? Is he touring just with Back to the Egg? So
I have a theory.
Okay.
The theory is we would have gotten McCartney too, but Wings would have continued on.
Okay.
So I think he would have toured with Back to the Egg, and I think McCartney 2 would have come out as an odd, like an odd release, but I think it would have done well. The reason I say that is because in North America, the hit version of Coming Up was the Wings version. It wasn't
the Wings version. Yes. Yeah.
So I think that had Japan not happened the way it did, if he had toured Japan and then swung over to North America, I think Back to the Egg would have been spoken of today as a classic Wings album, instead of people kind of going, man, I don't know that one.
Right.
Other than Wings fans and Beatle fans. But that's just my
well, either way, I mean, it is now very highly regarded throughout the Macca fan base, which is a good thing.
It wasn't always though, Tom. It wasn't always.
No, you're right, and that's what I'm, and it is now, but perhaps you're right. In '80, if he does tour America, on the coattails of Back to the Egg, maybe it does have a better showing. Maybe it does climb higher in the charts again. And then, if McCartney 2 is there, LJ was saying, I mean, if they'd be out on tour with a number one hit, with Coming Up, just kind of like almost the same thing in '76 as they toured the States with the number one hit with Silly Love Songs.
That's right. Yeah. 100%.
Yes, Joe says maybe rehearsals for 1-to-1. There are many. Yeah, so exactly. Yeah, there's. I mean, 9. If you're looking at 9 CDs, they have to have plenty of stuff from around that time. Then a lot of stuff. I mean to say. London Town was too mellow. That's why he had to do Back to the Egg to get back to rock, and it's a fantastic album. Too bad Wings had to break after that. You know what? I don't buy that. I mean, that's fine. It is a mellow album, okay? London Town is a mellow album, but I don't buy that. That's why it didn't do. It was a number 2 record, right?
It didn't knock out Saturday Night Fever, which was the biggest selling album.
Nothing was going to knock off Saturday Night Fever that year. Nothing.
London Town is mellow, but then if you think about it, George Harrison was pretty mellow too.
Yeah.
I think it was again part of the times, but I also think, to me, London Town is McCartney's Rubber Soul. Like, it's just kind of that more laid back but
U.S. Rubber Soul, right?
Yes. And let's not forget the experimentation McCartney did on London Town, right? Like Morris the Moose.
Oh, Morris the Moose and the Grey Goose. Yeah,
great stuff.
Yeah.
So
Joe is saying I think Egg needed Good Night Tonight on the album. Yeah.
Could have helped. Although it wouldn't have fit, I don't think.
Yeah, but does Baby's request fit?
Hey, Baby's request could fit wherever it was.
Fair. I mean,
agree.
You put it as the last song because you know what? I mean, Ebony and Ivory, I doesn't think fit Tug of War, you know. But
I think Joe's right. I think if Goodnight Tonight had been on Back to the Egg, it would have given it a higher profile. It would have boosted sales. But you know, and McCartney was adamant it was not going to be on that album, right? That was McCartney.
Yeah, it was McCartney. Yeah, he was the one that didn't want it. Yeah. Too bad the tour got canceled, and it might have helped Back to the Egg if Getting Closer was on it. Yeah, I'm sure he would have played Getting Closer.
Great opening song. Wouldn't that be a great opening? That's a great opening song. Concert.
Live version of Instant Karma is amazing. So much. Yeah, I really enjoyed. Mother. I thought was fantastic.
The footage they put with Mother is kind of heartbreaking. Just putting that out.
Yeah, right.
Killed me.
John Sinclair, I enjoyed as well. The bits they played of that.
Can we just say for a second? Can I just say for a second? Not me. I'll say. People sometimes put down Sometime in New York City. I don't. I think there's some incredible material on that album. You may not agree with the politics, and that's fair. Musically, it's some of Lennon's. Like John Sinclair is a great song. New York City is an amazing song,
and some great stuff from Yoko too.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I'm 100%. Well, it's a John and Yoko thing, right?
Right.
So I sometimes think that album gets kind of hammered a wee bit too hard but I like it. I've always liked it. You know.
Well, you like it. I mean, I like it too. I mean, but listen, when you're doing rankings, something's got to be at the bottom, right?
Maybe.
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 Beatles Eddie says, I don't think there would have been a McCartney 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Our friend Billy Tone says it's still not that well regarded by me. I think Egg is my least favorite Wings album apart from Wildlife. It's not a great album. I'm not sure why it's so popular because it is a great album. That's why. You just need to catch up with us, my friend. Maybe you need to play it a couple more times or something. I don't know. But that is so weird. That is so weird. I thought you would have loved that album, Tone. Side 2, Wildlife is I love Side 2 of Wildlife.
No argument here.
Yeah. Baby's Request and After the Ball don't fit either. Yeah.
Okay, but after the Ball is the two medleys on Back to the Egg are. Winter Rose.
Yeah,
one of the finest. That and
Love Awake. Yeah,
Wanderlust off of Back or Tug of War. Two McCartney's finest and most underrated songs, in my opinion.
Yeah, love it. Steve, how you doing?
Steve,
We're doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you? James is getting closer. Was in the 79 set list. That's correct. Ollie, is there any footage of the rehearsal? I hope we get the live rehearsal working class hero on the box set. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're thinking. There's just a ton of rehearsal, and that's going to be included in with the box set. Agreed. Sometime in New York City, underrated musically, at least. And that's one of the things too that I liked about it. I loved seeing Yoko singing her bit in Luck of the Irish. You know, I appreciate any time that documentary shows, you know, Yoko doing more than just her screaming or whatever you want to call it, because people just associate her with that, and they don't know what else she does, because that's the only thing they think she does is just that, you know, which is a shame, because I think she is a very, very fine singer. And especially on Sometime in New York City.
I agree. Agreed.
Yeah. Love to have it separately, but yeah. But I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to be in with this 1-to-1 box set, which maybe it turns out. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of speculating. I want to know, you know. I just want to know. I'm not the biggest fan of speculating, but I know people like speculating, you know, but whatever. See, daytime, nighttime suffering should have been on Egg. I'm not a big fan of Again and Again and Again. Oh, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, and then Mayo says Tone doesn't like rock, and then we got Tone saying Tone does like rock.
I love it. I love doing this with you, Tom. I just love doing this.
Yes, these are fun. No, what I do like doing is instigating. Now that can be.
You know what, Needle Eddie, everybody must get stoned.
Everybody must get stoned.
Yeah.
I would love to see Van Morrison in Ireland.
He's opening for Neil Young.
And yeah, over there.
Yeah, I mean, can you believe that? What a double bill, Neil Young. I'm actually going to see the new Neil Young film tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I do want to see it's going to be playing here in Michigan as well. So what's her name? His wife is directing. Daryl Hannah. Thank you. Yes. I do love Winter Rose. Winter Rose Love Awake is one of my favorites on the album. Ali says a lot of Egg is trying too hard to be down with punk kids.
Spit it on.
Yeah,
that's good.
Now, if it was called "Spit It On," you know, maybe it would have been, you know, because there was that big spit craze at these punk concerts too, right? Let's see here. Things we said today. Interviewed one of the co-directors. Yes, they did.
The one I spoke to. Yeah,
that's the one you spoke to. Okay, yeah. Cool. Let's see here, Aaron. What is your least proper George studio? You know what? I was thinking about, you know, one day us, you know, ranking the George catalog. If you want to partake in that one day.
So you're asking what's my least favorite George Harrison album?
Yeah, and not including Wonderwall music or Electric Sounds or anything. These have got to be out proper albums.
I would have to say, see, I'm going to offend somebody, no matter what I say.
Are you going to offend your buddy Owen Ling?
Probably. You know, okay.
Just come out with it. Just come out with it.
My least favorite would be George Harrison. Although I love the song.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
now that is a surprise.
See? Now people are like, what are you talking about? I love Extra Texture. I know a lot of people don't like it. I love the album. 33 1/3 has always been in my top 3 George Harrison albums. I think it's flawless. But George Harrison, there's some great songs on it. And there's some, what I find a little bit fillerish, like, I don't know. That's just, I hope, please
Here
like
Comes the Moon. Here Comes the Moon. What do you think of Here Comes the Moon?
Love Here Comes the Moon. Not big on Soft Touch. Not big on Soft-Hearted Hannah.
Soft-Hearted Hannah, really? Wow.
Yeah, I know it's based on Deep Blue, and I love Deep Blue.
Right.
And actually, Soft-Hearted Hannah is based on a old Bing Crosby song called Hard-Headed Hannah, I think it is. I like the album. Okay, so listen, this is the thing, right? If you give me a plate of spaghetti and a plate of ravioli and a plate of lasagna, I'm going to go for the spaghetti first. But you know what? I still love that lasagna. So,
right.
Look at me. I'm a big guy.
Fair enough. Thoughts on the George Harrison version of Not Guilty?
See, I mean, I don't mind it. It's okay. But there's something missing on that album. And I think he was right to bring in Russ Titleman, but I still think there was something, it needed something to kind of, Faster is one of my all-time favorite George Harrison songs, bar none. Blow Away, I love.
It was not included on the Best of Dark Horse, which I found very odd.
And frustrating. Yeah, frustrating. Yeah. So if I was to pick an album that I go to least by Harrison, that would be it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You can be wrong all you want.
That's right.
I think a change of running order would have helped Back to the Egg. Huh. Okay.
So yeah, it's interesting. I'm curious, James, what you would change, because I like when people say that, because it makes me wonder. Okay, you're maybe not wrong. I'm just curious as to where you see the lull.
Yeah. B. Letty says, "Don't stone me. My opinion, Red Rose Speedway, London Town is wings weakest, while life is better." Well, don't say that in front of Andy when it comes to Red Rose Speedway, because you probably will get stoned. But I mean, I can see it. But you know what? In the case of Red Rose Speedway, I find the side A to be a perfect album side. Whereas the B side, B side to the album, not so much. London Town, I think, is stronger from start to finish, possibly than Speedway.
I listened to Sirius Radio, and I listened to the Deep Track station, and just 2 days ago they played the whole medley from Red Rose Speedway, which I've never heard on the radio before. It was great. I thought I really enjoyed it. It was great.
Okay, Extra Texture is my least favorite George album, but there are some good songs on it. I do agree, and I do think that's one of the albums that people do put at the bottom of a George Harrison discography.
And it's the only Harrison album not recorded primarily in England. It's recorded in LA, and it's very depressing. And but he also, I think musically and lyrically, it's one of his strongest for me. And again, we talked about this before, right? I was 12 when I got Extra Texture, and I've lived with that album for the past 48 years, and it's really grown on me. And I don't know, it meant a lot to me. And I love you. I love.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, if you love me, you'll give me something back there. I love This Guitar Can't Keep From Crying. I love World of Stone. I love that album, but I respect the fact that it's your least favorite. That's totally cool. And I mean,
we'll just put it down to your ignorance.
Mine,
a friend in Dublin who's seeing Neil Young.
My daughter's going. My daughter's got tickets. She's very excited, and
that's great.
I hate it because she keeps rubbing it in. Hey, Dad, who's opening for Neil Young in Toronto? Who's opening for Neil? Yeah, okay, honey, shush.
Yeah, right. Throw stones. Okay. Richard, how are you? I went to see 1-to-1 in cinema in New York City, and I was the only one in the theater. What?
Wow.
Interesting.
That's odd.
Extra Texture. Who wants a George album where George doesn't play guitar?
Well, he does play guitar on it, Ollie.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I've never found a way to love Extra Texture.
I'm in the darkness then, aren't I?
Excuse me. I don't think Back to the Egg has any punkish stuff. Spin It On is just a sped up rockabilly.
Did you ever see? Did you ever see? You've seen the video for Spin It On, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And did you see McCartney when he was on Tom Snyder's Tomorrow Show?
Yeah, but a while ago.
And Tom Schneider says, "How'd you guys move so fast in that video?" And Paul's like, "We sped the film up, Tom."
The film up.
It's like, well,
that's something Larry King would have said too, probably.
That's great.
Beely Tone says, "What? George Harrison?"
I know. I see. This is why I don't like having that question. I should be more diplomatic and say,
Right.
Okay, can I just say for the record, I still love the album. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I took it for dinner 2 weeks ago,
Fair enough. Richard says, Tom, did you get a picture with Eddie Deason? I did not. Wow. George Harrison's self-titled is one of my favorites. Yeah. See? But, again, something when you're doing these rankings, something has to be on the bottom, unfortunately. And, and that's what I love about these rankings, because I love to see, who has what at the bottom, because they're great talking points. They're great talking points.
I just, for the record, one more time, Joe, I love the album. I do. But if you have to, if you put a gun to my head and say, pick your least favorite, that's what I'm going to go to. I'm sorry. Here, buy my book.
Take my book, please. I take my book everywhere I go, but it still finds its way home.
Well, wait do you read what I've written about Ringo? But anyways.
Well, we cannot wait. So what's this? So before we get back to the comments, give us an update on the Ringo book.
I'm excited. I'm interviewing people. I'm interviewing the drummer from a group called Stormer, who released a single. I recorded an album for Ringo Records that never came out. He actually sent me the album, which is very cool. And I've been talking to people who played on Bad Boy and Ringo the Fourth, and I got to talk to John Kosh, who designed the sleeves for Ringo the Fourth and Rotogravure, and it's exciting. It's been a lot of fun. It's I hope I've got some information that people just don't know about Ringo. So I'm digging up some I didn't know about stuff. So it's like, oh, I didn't know Ringo did this, or this came out, or this, or this, or this. So it's kind of cool. It's been fun, and the things that were supposed to happen that didn't happen. Like he was supposed to do a sitcom written by Graham Chapman of Monty Python. They just it never got off the ground. But so off the ground.
Pun intended. Yeah, pun intended. Yes.
So yeah, it's been a fun researching it and talking to people who were involved in Ringo in one way or the other. I got to talk to Bill Schnee, which was great, about Ringo Midnight Vienna. So I think it's an exciting book. And the Klaatu book's coming together too, and hopefully I'll have something to talk about. So there you go. Excellent.
And then you'll start working on a McCartney book, right?
No, I'm never going to touch McCartney after the McCartney legacy books. Those are like brilliant, and I'm not even going to attempt it. No, I'm gonna write a book about why I love George Harrison.
Very good, my friend. Wink says Tony Somewhere in England is way worse than Extra Texture. I love Extra Texture. It's rigged. It's a rigged album to 33 1/3. You can hear the same sounds on both those albums. My least fave is Gone Tropical. Okay. James says George Harrison's self-titled is his London Town. Very mellow.
I agree. Totally agree.
All right. Gone Tropical. Now there's filler for you.
So, Joe, I guess I'm never getting a box set from you, right? That's just put
right. Doc says, for the record, I had 4 plates of spaghetti last night.
Doc, I'm actually envious because I can eat spaghetti 7 nights a week. Just saying.
Right. Let's see here. Doug Hacking Diamonds now digging Elton's new one. So hoping Mr. Watt also works his magic with Sir Macca. Fingers crossed. Yeah. So have you had a chance to listen to the new Elton John album?
Well, when I was in Ireland, that's all they were playing. Everywhere was playing the new Elton John. It was huge. Well, I entered the British charts at 1.
Oh, great.
And the Irish charts at 1. I really like it. I like Brandy Carlisle too, though. I think she's really, really great. I think she's good for Elton, and yeah, I think I think it's terrific. How about you?
Haven't listened yet.
It's
Haven't
good.
listened
It's
yet.
different, but it's good. I like it.
Yeah, I will get it.
It's no George Harrison, but
No.
I gotta beat myself.
Richard says George Harrison's solo discography is probably my least favorite of the solo Beatles. Fact, I think it's probably my second favorite.
I'm not saying a word.
Well, we're never going to get another honest comment out of Aaron again. No, I'm just kidding.
I think Harrison's solo discography is as rich and as good as anyone's discography. Like I think, and I'm not talking just Beatles and solo Beatles. I think his albums are, phenomenal. So, but you know what, Richard, I can understand where you're coming from, and that's cool. Like it takes all kinds, right? So,
yep. And then he also says, Joe Mayo, but you like Great Cloudy Lies.
I do.
Red says on Red Rose Speedway. Well, what's your least favorite McCartney album?
I was waiting for that. There's an interview disc out of Germany.
Yes.
I don't know. McCartney's a tough one for me. I'd have to. I'd really had to think about that, but nothing comes to mind right off the bat. But Family Way soundtrack. No. I don't know. I'm not a big hero.
I think you do know.
I'm going to say something that's going to probably upset a lot of people. I'm not a big fan of his live albums. I'm not a big fan of all the. I liked Wings Over America. I know it was doctored. I know, but after
every live album is doctored. I don't care what people say.
I agree. So I'm not a big fan of I know they're not studio albums, but like Good Evening New York and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a big fan of those albums. I don't play them very often, seldom if ever, All right,
okay.
Here we go. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you for avoiding the question. I appreciate that.
Do I have my least favorite McCartney album? Okay, not kidding aside. Yeah, I'd have to go probably with Let me think.
We'll get back to you
later. Ask me again.
We'll get back to you. Richard said Red Rose has Little Lamb Dragonfly, arguably Paul's magnus opus. Yes.
I agree. 300%.
Yeah, a lot of people love it. We finally saw John Sinclair. We saw him reunite with his family. Oh. That was a really nice clip in the film as well.
I agree. That was beautiful.
Does it get released if John doesn't go to Ann Arbor and perform? Perform. That's to be seen, or that's to be speculated. But you had to think that it helped. Let's see here. I like the artificial Beatles enhancements to Sour Milk Sea on YouTube. I did not listen to it. I have no interest in listening to it. So, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. I like the first 3 songs on Extra Texture. The others are sleep-inducing junk. Funny how most fans of it pick the first 3 songs. Yeah.
I like the picture of Ringo's rotogravure there, by the way, Joe. That's nice.
Yeah.
Does anyone have the rotogravure with the magnifying glass?
Joe has one. Joe has a magnifying glass.
Hey, do you want to keep it, Joe?
Yeah. All of a sudden, George Harrison album is his favorite George Harrison album, right? James, how you doing? Good to see you. Hello, afternoon, everyone. My least favorite George song is "Life Itself." Now, do you have a least favorite George song?
Under the Mersey Wall.
Okay.
No Time or Space.
No, not Shanghai Surprise.
I love Shanghai Surprise. That song is that is like a lost gem. That song, a beautiful
Yeah.
song, and I love the duet. I think it's wonderful. I love that song. I even like Hottest Song in Town. I think that's a great song. But
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Extra Texture is better than Gone Tropical by a mile and a half. I love these. I love all these I love to see what people think about these albums and where they put them, because it's like a snowflake and no two people have it the
No,
same.
true. Very true.
I love His Name Is Legs. I think it's a great fun, and exactly, it's just a lot of fun, and to me that's what a great way to describe it. It's a lot of
And
fun.
it's great to kind of shut down one headphone or one speaker and listen to what he's saying, and then do the other because he says there's some, and also he never says he understands. Great line.
Let's see here. I love you Woo too. Okay. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, man.
As Ali says, I think Jesse Davies played the most guitars on Extra Texture.
You may be right.
Yeah. And fantastic talent, Jesse Davies. I wish he was still with us today.
So do I.
I love the song. The main song, Ain't That a Lot of Love, that's on the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus that they perform. On that, I just love, and his little guitar solo there is fun too. But Jesse Davis is the man. I know you still love the album, sir. I often say that too. Okay.
Yeah, so Joe, do you really want that magnifying glass? I'm just asking for a
friend. Tony says you like Don't Worry Kyoko on the new EP. Well, I haven't got it yet, but listen. So I loved that the lead up to the performance in the documentary. I love her talking about the issues that they had with trying to get Kyoko back from Tony, and you're understanding the where she's coming from as a mom and as a performer, and then you see her perform Don't Worry Kyoko, and it just gives you a whole new appreciation and perspective of the song, which which is a song I've never mind beginning. I mean, there's a few of her stuff like that, like Why from her Plastic Ono band, that I think is just fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
And Why Not is good as well, but Why is just, I mean, you listen to John and Ringo just belt on, and then obviously Yoko belting on that too. I'll just play that at work every once in a while, and people will just like, what is going on? What is that? I love playing
morning too, but
yeah. Let's see. Choice has Gone Tropo is an album that's a favorite of mine. Okay.
Yeah, I love Gone Tropo.
Let's see. Band on the Run or Venus and Mars. What do you say? What say you there?
Venus and Mars.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You?
Now, right now, I'll say Venus and Mars, but I do think Band on the Run is the better album.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's again, brilliant album. It's like saying, do you prefer spaghetti,
or lasagna, right?
I do like lasagna.
Yes. Yes, I'm a Python obsessive, so I knew about the Graham Chapman project. Ringo also appears in an episode of Flying Circus.
That's right. He at the very end, and the It's guy says the It's, and it gets cut off. I think Lulu's with him, and then he also hired Graham Chapman to rewrite lines for Son of Dracula and overdub stuff, which Ringo himself said made little or no sense after Chapman had done it. But yeah, hey, I'm a Python obsessive too. Love Python. You know what, James? Later on, we can do some routines. I was just
there you go.
I made a joke about Ann Elk earlier to someone else, and they went, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Ann Elk." Come on, man. Ann Elk, the theory about the dinosaur. Come on.
There was a special screening of Monty Python and the Holy Grail is coming in theaters soon, so I might have to check the dates on that.
Great film. Great movie.
Brilliant. Let's see here. Okay, where we go. Brad is next. I'm with you, Tom. George solo work is my second favorite as well. He was originally my favorite Beatle, and I bought all his stuff, but didn't like it nearly as much as Paul's stuff, so he became my favorite. Yeah.
Fair.
You can go with that. Wink says, as a kid, that was into punk rock when Egg came out. We all scoffed when they said "Spin It On" was Paul's attempt at punk rock. Okay.
Oh, it's true.
Well, I mean, I guess the Brits have a completely different take on it, which was, I think punk was maybe bigger in the UK than it probably was here.
Canada. Big in Canada too.
Yeah. Okay. Steve says, essential title in my Macca album collection is "Concert for the People." Yeah, rocking. Okay.
To come out on DVD or CD, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Beatletti. I mean, listen, Driving Rain is another one that's considered.
I really like Driving Rain. I have such a soft spot. I know the songs are about Heather and all that, but the song Heather is one of the most beautiful melodies he ever wrote. Just, it's a beautiful, beautiful song.
I mean, the only thing that's wrong with that song is the title, I guess.
I agree, but I'm with you. But I find Driving Rain was the kind of album that it took me a while to get into, and I like albums like that because then I don't get tired of them very quickly, you know?
Right. I mean, if that song is not titled Heather, I think it's considered one of his later day masterpieces, which I do think still people think it's great. But I think if you take the title away, or if he's singing about his daughter Heather, maybe it's got a whole different.
I don't know.
All right, we got Wink, Where's Macca, Press to Play. That's another common album that gets put at the bottom of the barrel. Richard says, Pipes of Peace is a horde.
Really, Richard?
Horde? Yeah, I mean, the more I think about it too, and the more that I've listened to Pipes of Peace, I do tend to put it at the bottom as well.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one, that would probably be Pipes of Peace. If only for the song The Man was one of the worst. I'm just not a big fan of that song.
And listen, you get like an album or a track like Hey Hey. Okay, you got Steve Gadd and Stanley Clarke and Paul McCartney, and that's what you give us. Hey Hey, and it's a common theme. It's a common theme with McCartney when he has a trio playing on an album. Angry, right? Is not a great track in my opinion. And you got who do you got on? And you got Pete and you got Phil on that. Okay, Hey Hey, with, like I said, Gadd and Clarke and McCartney. Not a great track. Really Love You on Flaming Pie. You got Jeff Lynne, Ringo, and Paul. That's a dud. That's a dud of a track.
No.
Did you look at the time?
I'm trying to Dylan concert to get to in a box set to send me.
Pressing play depresses me, and my least favorite is my least favorite Paul album. Okay. Revolver's Beatles magnum opus. See what I did. Yes. I you know what? We did a show with Ken Michaels, and it was myself. It was Joe Mayo. It was our friend Dylan Seavey, and another gentleman whose name was passing me by at the moment. And we did what was our most favorite. What do we think is the best Beatles album? And I picked Revolver. I know Joe and Ken picked the White Album, but I don't think if we don't get a Revolver, we don't get a White Album. Revolver is the album for me that is the first album that just explores so many different genres in one album. I don't know. What do you think?
I think, for my money, Revolver is my favorite album of all time, bar none. Like, when people talk about the Desert Island Discs, I think Revolver is just a work of art from beginning to end. The sequencing, the songs, it's you got three Harrison, you got the McCartney stuff, you got the Lennon stuff, you even got Ringo doing Yellow Sub. I mean, to me, I don't have I can't find a fault on that album other than possibly it's too short. But other than that, it's great.
Well, that and Yellow Submarine for me has become one of my least favorite Beatle tracks of all time, unfortunately.
I still puts a smile on my face.
Fair enough. Saw Tom Frangione with the Ken Michaels last night. He agrees with you on side 2 of Red Rose Speedway. Well, everybody should agree with me. Though I'm a Paul fan, I think George's solo albums have arguably less stinkers across them. Paul's solo stuff is far more eclectic. Yes, I agree. But there's more of it too, you know.
Yeah, way more.
That's not an excuse. It's just a fact. There's just more Paul stuff than the other three, unfortunately.
Oh, Ringo's creeping up there.
That is true. I will never sell my Atlantic Rotogravure magnifying glasses. Literally near my number one favorite collectible, and it's used them. Yes, and he was.
I don't recall using the word sell.
You don't have to sell it. You can just hand it over to him.
I'll tell you a funny story. When I spoke to Mike Hales of Polydor, he said they ordered these magnifying glasses, some for Atlantic in America and some for Polydor in England. And the president of Polydor said, "Are you insane? But why are you doing this? I would kill to get one. Not that I'd kill you, Joe. Never.
Right.
I believe in peace, but I would love to get my hands on. So if you know what later on I'll text you my address."
George Zigzag, Lost Fave.
Oh yeah, I love Zigzag.
Least favorite George song is Within You Without You, and I've heard that a lot over the last 35 plus years. Within You Without You, I think does get a lot of kind of people kind of on the fence with. Okay, we got Sound. How you doing? Sun Dodger, sorry. Hi guys, enjoying the show. I have a lot of trouble with most of McCartney's 21st century work, save Chaos and Driving. Wow, okay. Chaos is fantastic. I disagree. I think New is fantastic. I think Memorial Full is fantastic. I think he's put out wonderful stuff here in the 21st century. Check out an episode we did a few years back with our friend Kyle Han, where we talked about our 21 in the 21st, which is our favorite 21 songs of the 21st century. Check that out if you haven't yet. Maybe we can steer you towards liking these some of those songs that you're not the biggest fan of. But I hear you. Look, I mean, there's a lot missing from these later albums from the albums that people loved in the 70s and 80s, right? One Linda's not on any of these albums. I can understand how people would miss her backing vocals. I mean, they were a pivotal part of a lot of Macca's catalog is Linda's backing vocals, and I think these albums are missing backing vocals for the most part in this later day albums.
But I also think that we know the other albums. So I mean, I'm talking about people are you're younger than me,
right?
But I mean, we've lived with
a lot younger. No, it's good.
50 years, 50 years of SMRs and 20 years, say, of New or whatever. And I think New, I keep going back to it because I think it's got incredible music on it. I love Chaos. I think Chaos is an absolutely stunning album.
Right.
And so, yeah, but I'm with you. It's with you, Tony. With you.
Tony says Luca Prazzi wrote his Ringo Starr book, and that Old Wave is one of the best Ringo albums. Shocking.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. It's a good album. There's some great stuff on it, but I wouldn't put it in my favorite Ringo. Don't even ask me. But what? Old Wave is just not a great album. I mean, it's okay. It's got some great songs on it, but it's.
Well, you just got back in Joe Mayo's good graces. Wink says, I heard behind closed doors Yoko would call him Tony Prick because of all he did. Yeah, I mean, you take your child away from you. I can imagine she would not be happy about that, Let's see here. Steve says, your jacket, Tom, your SNL crew 50 crew. How do you score that? Well, Andy and I were gifted this from our friend Mike Nair, who was a cameraman on the SNL 50 show. And it was very nice of him to do. So that's how we got this, and we also got a shirt. So there you go. Doc says, on those who hate Magneto and Titanium Man, I love it. Good on you, Doc. And we're going to start winding down here in a little bit. Well, I guess we'll go 15 more minutes, and then we're going to call it a day. James says, and Elk, my theory that this is my theory. Tim, hello, Tim. Good to see you. Hello, gentlemen. For me, Band on the Run has always emitted light, and Venus and Mars exudes darkness. Okay.
Oh. Wow.
Okay. I will show you one other thing I got at the fest too that I want to. Wink 55 as a kid who didn't know punk or cared. I just loved Egg and having inject heavy rockers. Period. Okay. Let's show you this real quick. This is another piece that I was really happy to get. And we were talking about McCartney 2 earlier. So this is the outer sleeve and then the inner sleeve. So I'm going to get these framed.
That's really cool. That's super cool.
Yeah. So I was really happy about that too.
I would be too.
Yeah.
Wow. Text me your address again.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I got to give it to you. I mean, unless you just want to wait and we get together. What was it, in June? If you just want to bring the record then or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool. I'll do that.
As long as let's see here, Aaron. The Life of Brian or Holy Grail? I'm a Life of Brian fan.
Me too. I love them both. Life of Brian. I mean, they both have their strengths and weaknesses, but I'm going to go Life of Brian. But
I'm going Holy Grail. I'm going Holy Grail.
Holy Grail is great too. I mean, but I really
think the jokes are better and more consistent in Holy Grail.
I don't know. I like the whole, when they're. Anyways, but we're going to Python right now because I know we're limited time. But go ahead.
Okay. Meaning of Life is my favorite. Okay, Tony. Okay. Me, Mr. Same Here, my favorite album of mine, but don't tell me any of his punk. Okay. That's fine. Fair. I was surprised that Agent Sinclair had Driving Rain as a big favorite. He loves it a bit. He does. Yeah. I was surprised by that as well.
It's a great.
But you know what?
It's a strong.
Music hits people in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So. Let's see here. Tim says, for me, Egypt Station is Paul's worst release.
No, I disagree, Tim, but that's okay. You have a right.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Paul trying to be a Court of Flash with all that sax. All right, Wink.
Funny. It's very funny. I like that. That made me laugh.
All right. Tony says he was thrilled to see Adrian's praising of Driving Rain. Am I the only one here that loves Press? No, I love the song Press.
I love Press.
You are not.
No.
Just tell me to press. Let's see here.
Tell me to press. Right.
James says a few of Paul's albums are top heavy and drop off halfway through. Pipes is an example of that, as is Press to Play. I can maybe agree with that.
I agree with Pipes. I'm not so sure about Press to Play, but
Yeah. A friend borrowed my Driving Rain CD when it came out. Never asked for it back. That was a case where you were happy to never get it back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for someone to return my first Quarter Flash album back. But anyways, actually, I do have it. I like the album, so there you go.
Okay, I love half of Press to Play. I have a love-hate with the relationship with Press to Play too. I think half of it is great, another half not so much, but they're all sprinkled in, throughout the album. I can't just say I love the first half and not the second half because I think both sides have some clunkers on it. Possibly not a popular opinion, but my least three favorites are the last three: New Aegis Station and 3, in no particular order, unless you're counting Fireman stuff. I dig the classical stuff. I'm glad to hear you dig the classical stuff because I do too. Specifically, the first two. I love Standing Stone, and I think Liverpool Oratorio has some fantastic stuff on it as well.
I do too. I'm with you.
Yeah. And I think Working Classical is a great introduction for people that are curious about his classical stuff.
I also think it's one of the best album titles of all time. Just saying.
Working Classical?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, from McCartney?
Yeah. Working Class? Yeah. Working Class. Yeah.
Great title.
Yes. The Beatles albums are like 13 plates. That's good, Joe. That's good. You might have won the comment. Joe, I think you won the comments for the day. Okay. Love our beloved Macca, but that opening track on Electric Arguments is pure. What is that?
Flatulence?
Flatulence? Okay. Put Rain on Revolver and remove Yellow Submarine as best Beatles album fact. I'll go with that.
Well,
Aaron just keeps the hot takes coming today.
well, I don't know. I guess because I just was in Ireland. I'm going to blame Ireland.
Yeah. I might agree here with Joe. Worst George song saved the world. And it is he. I do like It Is He.
Have you heard the alternative Save the World that's on the Greenpeace album? It's really good. It's a very different sounding song. I like Save the World, but and I like the ending of it too. All
right. You got a question here from Wink. Difford or Tilbrook?
Oh man, why are people asking me these questions today? I love them both. I mean, I love Difford's solo stuff. I'm not overly familiar with Tilbrook's some, but I love the albums they did together as Difford and Tilbrook are my favorite albums. I just love that stuff. So I love Squeeze. So there you go. Love Squeeze.
Okay, Brad. Funny. I recently re-listened to McCartney 3, and it is, in my opinion, awful. And that's from a huge McCartney fan of over 45 years, second generation Beatles fan, and first saw Wings in London in 1975. Okay, Alan. I tend to disagree with you a little bit, but I can understand, why it might not be for you.
Did you like the reimagined version, Alan? Probably didn't like that either, right?
Maybe not, but yeah. Okay. Let's see here. I must get to my dinner. Lobster thermidor. Okay, that's great.
Nice.
I love me a good lobster thermidor.
You made me hungry.
Play brandy with fried egg on top. Oh yeah.
And spam. How to have the spam? Spam.
Oh, spam. Oh my God, that's the. When was the last time you had spam?
Me?
Yes. Have you ever had spam?
I have. I grew up on it. Probably when I was about 12, 13.
Yeah, and I don't think I've had it since I was younger than that. But
my mom used to fry it. We used to have it fried.
It's disgusting.
Oh,
it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I don't miss it. I can tell you right now.
Right.
No, I'm. Maybe that's why I'm a vegetarian. Not because of McCartney, it's because of spam. Although there was no meat in spam.
Right.
Did you guys?
Are you a vegetarian?
I am.
Oh, okay, cool. I mean, I was for 8 years myself.
I'm going on 30.
30 years vegetarian?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing beer's vegetarian, right? Doritos are vegetarian.
Hops and barley.
Donuts are vegetarian. I mean, I used to do this with myself too.
Tom, there was a donut place right next door to our hotel in Ireland called Rolling
Right.
Donuts. And it was all made with sourdough, and it was the best donuts I've ever had. And like every morning, I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to go out for a little walk around the block. Really good donuts, let me tell you.
Question for the panel: thoughts on Kanye's Macca collab all day? Andy and I, not too long ago, we listened to those for the first time, and we gave our opinions then and there. But are you familiar with that track all day?
Am I?
Yeah,
I listened to it twice. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of the stuff. I don't like Kanye West, to be honest, or Ye, or what his name is. I'm not a fan. I mean, of all the McCartney collaborations, it's probably one that I didn't mind. The other one with Rihanna, that was okay.
4 or 5 seconds is probably the best of the three.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. I agree.
Yeah. I imagine Paul regrets the Kanye decision now. Perhaps.
Oh no, I'm sure he does.
Yeah. We're gonna try to finish up here, guys. I'm not a fan of George Eastern music. I'm not a fan of George Eastern music, but Within You, Without You fits Sgt. Pepper's perfectly for the concept they were going for. Yes. Mayo says New is in his top 5 of Macca list. I think that's cool. I think Memory Was Full is Paul's last masterpiece. We will have to see how the new album will be. Yes,
it is a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. I agree with you.
The thing, the only problem I have with Memory Was Full is that it was mixed too loud.
Only problem.
Yeah. Only problem I have with that album.
That's a good point. Yeah, but I love it.
Yeah. Sun says, I think there might be a bit of a generational thing going on with the old versus new works. I'll check that post out 21 and the 21st. Yeah, there could be. I mean, there could be. Mayo says Old Wave is my least favorite Ringo LP, and that's saying something. I think Bad Boy is underrated. Yeah,
I'm 100%. Bad Boy and Ringo the Fourth, 2 very underrated albums. Just saying.
Yes. Yep. Okay, it's pompous of me, but I could have improved plenty of Paul's albums with some pruning and superior.
It's not pompous. You have a right.
Listen, we know that Paul has a great history of leaving off some great tracks on new albums that could very much improve. Very much improve the finished product, and I think Egypt Station is one of those albums that could have been 10 times better. People know that I think Off the Ground could have been a masterpiece if he would have just, taken everything off and then put what wasn't on it and put it on. Yeah. Let's see here. As far as we can go, is the worst Ringo song. Okay.
Written by Russ Ballard, yeah.
Yeah, Bridge Over Troubled Water is probably my favorite Macca song. Okay, ha ha ha.
That's funny. That's very good.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Let's see here. Holy Grail is how I spent New Year's Eve, and that's a great way.
Great way to spend the New Year's Eve.
Yeah. He's a meaning. Steve says he's a meaning of life guy. That's
live organ transplant donation is great. Yeah.
Right.
But I'm still using
it. Leo says Thriving Pain, my former title, is one of my least favorite for me, but these days I dislike it less. Yes. Tony says he wanted more instrumentals on McCartney 3. Yeah, because I think McCartney 2 had 3 instrumentals on there. The first McCartney had 4 or 5 on there, and then McCartney 3 only had the 1. Long-tail winter bird. So, maybe 1 or 2. But, to be honest with you, I love lyrics to McCartney. I don't care how silly they are. I'd rather have lyrics than an instrumental from Paul.
I think, however absurd, which people don't seem to like, I love the lyrics.
No.
Love that song. You don't like
not
it?
a fan. Not a fan.
I'm a huge fan of that song.
Yeah. Joe must love Past Masters 1 and 2. I love Past Masters 1 and 2.
I do.
Thanks to Aaron, I'm craving lasagna.
Could do worse. Could do worse, man. Could do worse.
Yeah. And we talked about this last time Joe and I did a stream together. Yellow Submarine, charming, beloved classic song, is now becoming the most underrated Beatles song in his book.
That's a really good point. I agree with you, Joe. Like it is underrated, and there's more to that song than meets the eye. That's all I'm going to say about it because I know we're trying to wrap up. But
yeah. So I saw the Yellow Submarine film when I was 9 at school. Yeah, and you know what? And we were also talking about. Someone brought up the fact that Yellow Submarine, all the Yellow Submarine products out there. It's a very heavily licensed film, so there's a lot of product out there, and maybe that's why people have a hatred or dislike to Yellow Submarine because of all the stuff that's out there. These days. I don't know, but that's a possibility. George's dip into Indian music is like plates of ravi. Holy, very, I see what you did there.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, you got second place in the comments today. Yeah, that's very good. Every spam is sacred. It's from Steve. Sour Milk Sea on YouTube wasn't AI at all. It's a remix of several takes and uses actual Beatles singing. I'm playing. Okay.
I'll check it out. I haven't seen it. I'm going to check it out, though, right after this.
James, I love James's comment here, too. Polythene spam as soon as I can get to it. Here we go. I like that. There's something that I can maybe probably agree with Joe. Macca's meat-free Monday. Too many people preaching practices. There you go. Yes, and it's also probably one of my least favorite things McCartney has ever done. Even though I was, it's a terrible song. Even though I was a vegetarian for many years, just because maybe I might agree with the song's concept, but the song itself I think is terrible. Right up there with Love Peace or Love Song for the Earth, I believe is one of the worst songs that McCartney has ever done or has been associated with. Eddie Letty, I think we should listen to all of Paul's work from McCartney to McCartney 3 in order. It will take about 4 weeks, but I think it should be done at least once a week. Then we can decide what is worse. I think that's a great idea. Maybe the thing is you can't necessarily do that here on YouTube because the YouTube gods like to shut down a live stream if you're playing something that you shouldn't be playing. Tony says, How Kind of You and Magic are both about Linda. They are both masterpieces. How Kind of You is definitely, I think, I love the loops that go on in How Kind of You.
Magic is I think Magic is a masterpiece.
Yeah. Okay. Later, Potatoes. Good to see you, Ali. Thanks for popping in. We're going to get going here soon. Have a favorite era of Paul. Do you have a favorite? Yeah. Do you have a favorite era of Paul?
Not really. I mean, probably no. I don't have a favorite. I'm going to stick by my joke I made when I was on the Ken Michaels show about Material World, and Ken asked me what was my favorite George Harrison album, and I said at the time the last one I listened to. So it's kind of where I'm at with McCartney. Like if I just today listened to Flowers in the Dirt. That's my favorite album today. But you know what? If I listen to Ram tomorrow, is my favorite album. So I don't have a favorite time. No, I don't. That's a long answer. Sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. When the archive came out and I was reevaluating Flowers in the Dirt, I thought it was, up until the last two songs, I think, I thought it was fantastic. It's a fantastic album up to the last two songs, in my opinion. Me, Mr. Mayo, I know that's how he feels about the frog song. See, some mentioned Pasta Masters above. You missed it. Nice wordplay. Pasta Masters. Yes.
Nice. Very nice.
Yes, maybe Andy, Kyle, and Tone would like to do a marathon listing all of Macca's songs in order of worst to best. Possibly. You never know, Lynn. Thanks, Steve. Not really. And then we got Beeline's 60s and 70s is my favorite era.
Nice.
I mean, you could probably say it's the best, but is it your favorite?
Hey,
Maybe.
Tom, what do you think of Tropical Island Hum?
What do I think of? I think it's a fun. Again, it's just a fun little track. I don't, take it seriously. I don't,
No.
the
I just
same with
got a promo copy where it was edited. I never knew it existed until I bought it, so that's very cool.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a fine little number. I think it might be a little bit better than We All Stand Together.
No, I love all no.
We all stand. You like All Stand Together. I thought the animated piece is a nice compliment to this track, I think both complement themselves nicely. Same as the video or the theatrical piece for We All Stand Together. I'm really curious to see how this High in the Clouds is going to turn out. That's going to be on Netflix, one of these years. And see if, and because we know he's recorded music for it as well, and we're all waiting for that to get released. Spaghetti Lee. All right. Workshopping this. All right. So
say something about Flaming Pie. Flaming Pie is a brilliant album. Brilliant album.
Yes, it is. But a couple hiccups sprinkled throughout.
Listen, enjoy Bob Dylan tonight, man. That'd be great.
Hey, listen, I am super stoked. We're getting off here. Tim, we're going to get to your question. That'll be the last question we'll get to. But thank you everybody for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Don't forget Aaron's book. If you don't have it, check it out. Contact Aaron if you want. Send them a Facebook Messenger post. Just everybody bombard him with your addresses so he can send you free copies of his book. And
or you could just go to Amazon or Barnes and Noble or Walmart or any bookstore.
No. Aaron likes to send these things out himself. He wants to make sure they get packaged nicely. No, I was just teasing. But anyways, Aaron, it's a pleasure hanging out with you again, my friend. And
I love hanging out with you. Anytime you want me on the show, I'm more than happy to accommodate, even though I made some enemies with the George Harrison album. But anyways,
people will forget about that. Don't worry. But I do want to get to Tim's thing right here. I have a hot take with the Oriental Nightfish. I would have loved this to have been the first song on a Wings album. This was recorded in November of '73. I had plenty of time to get on the Band on the Run album, and I think it would have enhanced Band on the Run, the album itself. I loved the track. Love it. I love the track. What do you think?
Do too. I think I thought the video that they shot for it, the animation, is stunning. I've always loved the song. Actually, quite frankly, I love Linda Nothioko. Her musical ability on her album is fantastic. She should have done more. I wish she had, because there's some just brilliant stuff on that. But I love Oriental Nightfish.
Yeah, same here. All right, and with that bell, we're going to sign off. Everybody, great seeing you. We will see. I'll be here next week at some point. Hopefully, Aaron will want to join again.
You're gonna still have me?
Oh, please. You know what we'll do next week? Why don't we rank all the George Harrison albums next week? Are you sure? No, come on. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
I gave it up for Lent.
All right. We'll figure something out. All right.
I'll be here. I really appreciate all your comments, guys, and questions. And I love hanging out with all of you. You're all great. Thank you.
Yeah, and Joe, I will be honest, but again, it's my first time seeing him, so I won't have anything to really what's the word describe it from. You know what I mean? So I'm just going.
Dog's comment that a box of craft dinner with every Aaron book. I can't promise that, Dog, but
box of craft dinner. There you go. Yeah, you can't guarantee that. Or a plate of lasagna for every Aaron book.
Or garlic bread cheese.
Yeah. So okay. There you go. Tomorrow is the anniversary of the release of McCartney's debut album. Yes.
Yay.
Okay, guys, that's it.
Bye, everybody.
Gotta go. We will talk to you soon. See you next week, everyone.
Bye, Tom.
Yeah, I will. Hold on a second there, Aaron. So,
yeah. Yep, not going anywhere.
Okay. Take care, everyone.